Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Rule of Two, where the Star Wars News Saga continues. I'm Terrence, and I know I'm a little late because I didn't do our lowered expectations version of the Acolyte when it got ready to release. So I got a little bit kind of caught up and behind on some things, but ready to get to it now because recently the first episode 1 and 2 just dropped, and I want to give you more of my thoughts. I'm not going to do a breakdown. I don't like doing breakdowns because it's too involved and too intensive, and I don't know 100% of the Star Wars lore that I can go back to the EU books and be able to tell you how that little Easter egg references that. But I would like to give you my thoughts as a big Star Wars fan as far as how this season is appealing to me, because I know lately with Star Wars properties that it's not always been hits. It's kind of been 50-50, 50-50. It's really polarizing with Star Wars properties lately. I'm going to say with their TV, they've actually made some strides to kind of re-strengthening the brand itself. But with that being said, let's go on my likes and my dislikes. So some of the things that I really liked about the show, first and foremost, it is that it's set in the High Republic era. I'm kind of like tired of everything having to do around the original trilogy, from A New Hope to Return of the Jedi. Everything is either inserting themselves in between the middle to kind of do the filler, which at the time was really great because there was a lot of gaps that we needed to fill. I think we filled those gaps at this point. And I don't really want to go back to the prequel era and then everybody has their opinion on the sequel trilogies. So I want to do them and either do characters that aren't really set in those particular time frames or within that particular or has something to do specifically with that particular era, or do something way outside of it, which is what they're doing here with the High Republic. So I'm very, very happy about that. Other things that I did like about this is that when they open up in episode 1, they open up with an amazing fight scene. We get to see Harry Moss character Indara versus our new antagonist. If you've seen episode 2, then you kind of know that it's kind of a twin situation, which we'll get back to. But in this scene, she is the antagonist, a May character, and the fight scenes are great. I have heard through some of the internet stuff that it's not Terra Kasai, the fight style. It's a different style they made up for this. But either way, it works really, really well. I think we're getting way back into like full martial arts and not really kind of making it its own thing. But I will say that hey, seeing Carrie Ann Moss as Endara back on doing action again is really, really great. No matter how you felt about Matrix, the last Matrix that came out, but it was really, really great and very, very surprising that she did die. I'm sure they're going to bring her character back in later episodes and flashbacks, kind of like they did with Anakin and Ahsoka. I'm sure we're going to see more of that going forward. But that first scene and opening of the show was really, really great. Next thing that I really like about it, since we are set in the High Republic, is that I'm really digging the costume design. Normally, from every Star Wars film, everybody wears the same kind of uh, darkish gray, storm gray, heather gray robes. And there's not really much interest in the design of it, just that you know that the Jedi wears a robe. This one, you're kind of showing like their peak of the Jedi, so it's kind of showing a little bit more to their costume design, how they're looking as authoritative positions, especially like in them being all white and having like little gold accents on it and little medals and stuff. Well, not medals, but having little metal accents to where it actually makes them seem that like, hey, they're very, very praised at this particular point. Other thing that I liked about the show so far is the Master Soul character, who is basically a teacher to one of the Jedi schools for the Padawan, the learning Padawans as they're coming up. I'm not sure if he's going to be our Yoda character because it doesn't look like we're going to get Yoda in this particular series, which I'm kind of glad about because I think Yoda would detract from what's going on in this series, and all we would be thinking about is how does this fit in with your Yoda storyline, even though he is alive during this period. Maybe this is a different school, maybe he's off world, whatever the case may be. Uh, I'm very interested in what they're going to do with Master Soul. I know the actor playing him is the actor from Squid Games. I can't remember his name for the life of me right now, but and I heard that he had to learn English to do this particular role. I think they got a new rock stars. I can mention that. Um, but he's doing a really, really great job. I'm surprised. I mean, they've already added Donnie Yen to the Star Wars um, legacy and universe, so it seems like a character Donnie Yen would have probably felt really, really great in. But since we already had him and his character is dead, I can see why they picked somebody else to do it. But his Master Soul is somebody that seems to be very, very interesting so far, and I kind of want to see how far they take this particular character. Um, other person, or I'm sorry, well, the other thing that I like about it is another person. We're gonna go back to the main character. Uh, I mentioned that there is twins. So there's a May character, and then her twin is the Ashura. Now they're doing kind of a light side, dark side character. I'm in a big person. Obviously, the show's called Rule of Two, and T-shirt says Rule of Two. I'm a big dark side person. I was really kind of over the twin aspect of Star Wars. And in this pairing, May is the more interesting character. Her revenge arc and her purpose and motivation going forward seems to be a little bit more interesting. Obviously, she's wielding the Force better than her twin sister. Obviously, she's better trained than her twin sister. So I'm more interested in seeing what's happening in that particular character and see exactly what's happening with the Ashura character and watch her arc unfold over the seasons. Now, it was only 2 episodes, so those are the biggest takeaways I could really get from the show itself and things that I really, really like. Now I kind of have to talk about the things that I didn't like about it. Going back to the twins, I'm really sick of twins. Look, I mean, it's been in Star Wars mythology for a while, the whole Luke and Leia thing, and then his children having twins, and um, even the Dio thing with Kylo and Ray. I thought that when they did that in the sequel trilogy, that was kind of the like, whoa, we haven't seen this in such a long time. And to say like, oh, it's just been about 100 years, doesn't make it loses its point for when they did it in the sequel trilogy. Whether you like the sequel trilogy or not. So I'm kind of hoping that they're not going down that road, even though it definitely seems that they're going to go down that road. And we're going to have one good sister who is on the light side and one dark sister on the and one other sister on the dark side. So I hope they play it out better than what my mind's kinda going with it, but I'm not really, really feeling that. Another thing I really kinda dislike, I do we have to do the hidden master thing again? I mean, if we were to take a guess, it's probably gonna be Plagueis during this time frame because this would be, um, uh preceding Darth Sidious, and we know his master was Plagueis. So we're gonna assume if it is within this with 100-year time frame that it's probably Plagueis. And so why do we have to hide it? Unless they're gonna do another Sith, but then all you're gonna be saying is like, why is this not Darth Plagueis? And where's Darth Plagueis at this particular point in time? We don't need Sidious. Obviously, Sidious would be a baby at this point, if at even born during this particular time. I mean, they're aliens, so who knows what their true lifespan is. So just say Plagueis already. So by episode 2, just show me it's Plagueis. I would prefer that they did that. Other thing that I don't like about this show is some of the dialogue can get really, really goofy, especially when we're talking to um the other Jedi that are along with the mission. I feel like it's kind of cheesy. I would kind of wish that it was just Master Soul that came out with Ashra and not the other Jedi Knights that or the Jedi Knight and Padawan that came out with it. I would have rather they made it more of a smaller group and more focused, but I mean, I obviously they're trying to build these characters up to be something going forward. I did mention that Carrie Ann Moss died, so that was a big downer for me. It almost made me feel like Game of Thrones in season one when Sean Bean's character died, when Ned died, and I was almost like, oh, guess I'm out of this show. But I'm gonna get it time. Like I said, I'm sure there's gonna be flashbacks and there's gonna be a point for this going forward. Um, I think those are all my dislikes. I don't want to beat this thing over the head because I did enjoy it, and it was a good setup, and I definitely understand why they actually gave us 2 episodes because they really wanted to set something up, and I think our minds would have wandered way left center if we did have just left us at the end of one, and then we probably would have been a little disappointed going into episode 2 that it was something completely different because they were setting up, they were setting some things up kind of poorly and you're just kind of like rolling your eyes, like, is it this twin thing and all the fugitive elements? It's like it was setting it up very, very poorly. So we needed that second episode to kind of really define where they were attempting to go with this particular show. All right. So other things that I'm probably wishing that we're going to see because they made a little reference at the end. They're going to show us force sensitive Wookiees. I know that's been something that they've been talking about and it's been in the EU for quite some time. So I'm really interested to see where they go with that. And just don't make it hokey, don't make it stupid. And you don't need Chewbacca at this particular point. And I know his race lives quite a long time. So he's relevant at this particular point, I would assume. So you can do other things other than that. All right. Now, Those were my thoughts on those first 2 episodes. I don't want to make this too long. Like I said, I'm not doing a complete breakdown. I will give you my thoughts on every episode of the season going forward. So just make sure you kind of check back with the channel. And if you haven't subscribed already, please make sure you subscribe and click the notification button so that way you're aware when they do drop. All right. So for that being said, may the force be with you always.
Wait, guys, are you still here? I'm glad you're still here. All right, so if you look down, I mean, it's somewhere over here. Look down. We actually have a Patreon. So if you guys watch the show and you really like what we want to do and you want to help support the show and you want to help me get an editor so I can get to sleep at night because I'm really tired and you guys see all my mistakes in the episodes. So please go to patreon.com/thegoods. Give us a penny, give us a nickel, give us $1.
Just don't give us the finger.
Don't do that. But make sure you do donate something because we do have some giveaways. There's posters, there's t-shirts.
I'll sign something for you.
Exactly. So take a look, guys, and help us out. We appreciate it.